Good morning. Welcome back. All right. That's what we do every day. Welcome back. All right. So, signs of buyers stepping up once more on Friday, middle of the day. Um, but you never left the room. We left you here all alone, Alex, over the weekend. We're sorry. Okay. All right. Starting off on a good spot. All right. Where is that little? Yeah, okay, there it is. All right. So candlestick patterns that confirm a bearish market. They're just simply called green bars ignored, and it happens to different degrees. Right? Bottoming tail bar, wide range bullish bar, and little to no follow through. And so, if you didn't read the chart of the week, I'll find the link. But anyway, one of the points to take note of here was like this is going down, and it never closes above a prior day's high. Not once did it in all of these days. So that would be one indication of something of significance turning or a change. When do we get a close above a prior day's high? And so we will see. And so today, I'm wondering, okay, after yesterday's reversal, it's not like we haven't had one before, but now it's happening in an area of support. Um, you know, can it do a little retest pattern? And so on the 65 minute here, that's one thing that we'll look for today. And we might find out really early on, it just pushes right through it. And it's like, no, that ain't happening. And it depends on what degree it pushes through it. So if it just slightly goes under the low and begins to reverse back up again, maybe it will be a retest and reversal pattern. We'll see. And you can see on the 65 minute, these wide range green bars have little to no follow through. So this is part of what bar by bar analysis is about. When we see an individual candlestick and we see one that we call it's a range expansion bar or wide range bar, it's a powerful bar. Just like this is a powerful on the downside. And last week we talked about when they were up here, well, what do they do when you get this power bar or deep retracement? Does it go sideways and up? Does it fall apart? And so far they've been falling apart. And so we've got this 65 minute that's just, stair stepping its way down in a downtrend there. And this is helpful if you can look at things from an objective point of view, right? With the analysis that we're using, because it's easy to say, hey, you know what? This is down a lot. We use terms like oversold, or we use terms like extended. Yeah, that's extended from the 20, but it's not going up. So you got to keep things in check. Anyway, so we'll see where today finishes the day. Just curious. I don't think there's no economic reports coming out. There's a couple of bond auctions. Not It's consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock, but I don't know that maybe it's a big deal. Last time consumer sentiment came out, they made a big deal about it. But whatever the flavor of the day is, as far as what the market reaction is to certain numbers, what gets the attention, and then the rest of the week there's inflation numbers and jolts and jobless claims and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that moves things around. Um, So looking at the weekly chart here, and I want to look at the weekly chart. Not that I didn't look at the weekly chart over the weekend, but it's holding here, which opens the question. And someone in the room asked last week, "Oh, Greg, it broke this support. Will the S&Ps?" And I mean, the S&P was talking about, is it going to go down to 3,400? And I was like, it might, but don't get too far ahead of ourselves, because you start thinking that something has to happen, and then you see information suggesting it's not going to happen, and you don't take advantage. So right now it's just been a sloppy move lower versus a fluid move lower. So when you look at I can't see this one right here. That's a fluid move lower. When things move down in that way, it has a higher tendency of coming back up, but it's stopped at resistance. In any event, look, if we can get a fluid movement to the downside, that has greater potential because it's like climactic. It's sort of what happened um, in the middle of the day on Friday, right, to a certain degree. And just going back over here just to show you, it was like things were S&P was going down, and then you see this waterfall kind of a move there before the retest and reversal pattern happened. So maybe something like that on the daily chart is, maybe that like that happens, but so far, they're holding here. We know where it's at, you know, down near yesterday's low. And so, um, yeah, so what was being asked was, will it come down here? I don't know. It might. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it stops here, since you've got this minor support area and this major support area coinciding together. But, you know, and our internals, we got a little kind of, extreme where breadth is only at this minus 100. And this sentiment put call ratio is at an extreme. I would like to see this one. This is the total. Doesn't always happen, but so we do have some information to support the possibility of this being where a short-term turn occurs. We'll just have to see how it plays out. All right. Come on. So again, NQs retesting the low. It's not in an area of support. It doesn't have to go down here, but we'll see. That's why we look at other markets. Sometimes one is at support and the other one isn't, and things begin to turn, and the one that isn't will turn up. And we'll see if this can stabilize here or not. So the Dow futures are down in this area. You always got to look at the cash one. We don't see that whether it's gapping or not. I could look at diamonds, but anyway, I think it would be ideal to come down here and test the 200 where this major support is. Now, when we talk about things moving down in a fluid way, like this, multiple bars moving down, this is going to be difficult, typically difficult. Sometimes moves, reversals surprise you, but you've got what 6 or 7 bars here overlapping each other, and now 4 bars overlapping each other. So it leaves these congestion areas to go through versus where things move down in that fluid manner, where things have a higher tendency to move up in a fluid manner, which they're more climactic. All right. Russell breaking down. Let's look at the ETF. Got room to fall before getting down to all of this support. We've got that bottoming tail bar. So a little bit of a slowing momentum bar there. Another one, a bottoming tail bar took the low and came back up again, and now it's you know, testing near Friday's low, like others. So it's trending down, bar by bar. It has not closed above a prior bar's high yet. So very simple rule. And that's when we do support and resistance in the courses. It's like, what's the first reference point of support and resistance? Prior bars high and low. Where do you go from there? Pivots, trend of pivots, and systematic, simple thought process. All right, Bitcoin, a little bit of a shellacking here, retesting this low. It's in a downtrend, downtrends everywhere. transports, breaking down, not at support yet. Crude oil, where's crude oil? It's holding its own here for the moment. It's on some support, kind of a critical area. I forget this for now. But if it breaks below here, I think that has some serious implications if crude oil, begins to break down below here. So it hasn't done it yet. We'll see what it does. All right, let's back to SPY. We know it's at the bottoming tail bar. No significant signs of stabilization yet. And the strikes are like in crazy land, the downside, which is great. This is great. So let's double check. I mean, she probably hasn't moved much since I put that there. 55.30. So it's a little, it go 55.35. I pick, it's not like you have to do, or you don't have to do anything, of course, but these are a guide as to where things are highly likely not to go, just based on average range, true ranges, day to day, distance from support and resistance. To travel that far would be kind of insane, kind of like a crash. So highly unlikely it's going down there. It hasn't closed above a prior day's high since the top. Now, what if it goes here and it closes above a prior day's high? Well, common sense. It's down here now. If it's got to travel all the way up there and it's into this congestion, is it likely to hit this strike? No, no, not unless some news item blindsides us. It's highly unlikely it's going to go there, and it's highly unlikely it's going to go there today. Right? Now, we haven't talked about this because prices haven't been here in a long time, but this is an old void that's lurking below. And let's hope that prices stabilize here for now. Because if they chop around here or just go down, they're going to waterfall down into here. And things will look pretty ugly, of course. And just curious now, if it was to get down there, would it be considered a bear market? No, that's only a 10% correction. Wow. 9.67, only a 10% correction for going down there. It seems, I don't know, as I look at it, it seems like a significant move, you know, just making it bigger to read, be able to read that, make that readable. So 10% corrections happen. You know, if it's in the cards, let's get it over with. It's SPX. There's their numbers. And gold is down a little bit, just correcting its gain. Not a big deal. Did violate the uptrend. Silver. Double top. Consolidation. Is it bullish price action? Yet to be seen. And so when we look at all these charts, we look for patterns that we recognize, in areas, certain locations that present trading opportunities or continuation patterns and so on. Interest rates are down a little bit, and you hear more and more talk, as we suggested would be coming, about recession. And maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but interest rates going down and oil going down and transports going down, all of those things historically point to that. So that's it. All yours, Dan. Oh, just mention, when you think about ugly things, break out to new highs and collapse in financials, another bad event. Go ahead, Dan.
and the Commerce Secretary Ludnick was on the news just with a straight face saying there's zero chance we're going to get a recession. Like, I don't know. I just don't respect people that talk in such ridiculous absolutes when they have no friggin' idea.
Dan, give me a sec to clarify. Frenchie, yes, you're right. That was an 180-minute chart. I had done that to look further what was to the left versus then scrolling. Thank you. That wasn't a 65-minute, but I changed it to 65-minute. Thank you. Go ahead, Dan.
We don't have many earnings. I don't have many alarms going off either. We have fairly light inventory. We actually had a long bullish list in the weekend letter, and I don't have a single one of those alarms going off, which is good and expected. So whenever we have trades that are counter to a big gap, then I'm still okay with them because they're not going to trigger unless it actually makes them better. Because for a bullish trade to trigger with this gap down, as bullish as can be. So, I mean, of course, we'll go through them all in the green room, but I'm okay with them. But look at this. There was some news about an activist guy taking a stake in this. But this is a beautiful chart. This is a buy setup, and this is what we call. I even made reference to it in my weekend video. We kind of on many patterns um, we kind of just call it the second time around. So even if you have a compelling pattern that fails, and it just looks like, you know what? I mean, this is bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. It should turn. Keep an eye on it. That's the point I'm making. So look, if this made a new low on Friday, still nothing to do. But look, now it's gapping. Looks like $85. Look where it's gapping. That is a beautiful gap if it holds. So I have it on the bottom right, and that is a tier 1 gapper right there. Cousin Impy. That doesn't make sense to me. FT, Impy, and gapping up, and they're different patterns. So, no, the news I read was some activist investor. But I don't. Doesn't matter. It's a move. I don't care about the news. I care about the pattern, and if it sets up in the first 30 minutes. That's from our old YouTube, our resident buy setup expert. Yeah, it's a buy setup. And ideally it should not trigger. But if it does, I'll set an alarm at 404 for now. I see it's trading at 402 and change. And here's another buy setup I found. Look at Orly. So this it is a buy setup by definition. And then we talk about qualities. So it is fluid. It is from a V top. It's a deep retracement, which is why we have a bear 180 on the weekly, which I don't like. That's a nasty breakout failure. But set an alarm at 1330. It's a buy setup. Could be another trade. And Raul mentioning SYRE. Sell setup. Yeah. It's a sell setup. Bearish, daily, weekly, monthly. Sure. And it shows a gapping up 46 cents. I don't see any prints, but if it is gapping up, it should not trigger to the downside. Remember, anything green is relative strength today. And so I always glance at the Dow 30. PG is up, few pennies. J&J and Amgen. So this is telling me it's, safety trades again, risk off. But I was fully bullish for a partial bounce, not far, like to there. But still, what is that? 850? Provided the gap, we went over this last Wednesday at MT Live, provided the gap doesn't mess up my bias on Monday morning, which it did. Gap messed it up. That's look at Redfin gapping up. That has to be a buyout, in my opinion. It just has that footprint of a buyout. Does anybody know? Because that is a monster gap. Monster. WSC. And we actually have, it is, thanks. We actually have a number of climos in the weekend letter. And so this is a climo by definition. And then again, we can talk about different qualities and how the turn triggers. But this one, WFC, gapping, to this resistance, but maybe 30-minute high, or ideally, it has a bullish inside bar, closes in the upper range, and then tomorrow we could buy it over the highs. VRN, big old gap. We can watch that on a pullback. That's a pro gap. That's igniting. Look, we're in a trading range on the daily, but downtrend weekly, monthly. And that's gapping up over all this. That is a pro gap. Rocket buying them. Well, they're getting spanked for it. All right. Dash has a nice gap here. 183, but no pattern. Mister said they were doing a secondary offering. That's a bearish 15-minute chart. 268. That has room to fall. So that's a call spread and a day trade short idea. And let me go back to earnings. Let me just watch this. Oh, and Alex, let me look at your commodities. All right, earnings here. FNV. Kind of a bull rectangle. We'll come back to it. BNTX is a bio. But yeah, I saw it at 105 this morning, and yeah, that it looks lower daily, weekly, monthly, but a bio. And PWR was up, now down, nasty downtrend, no interest. TLS opening flat, no interest. And ALGS is also a bio. No interest. All right, so that's it, just FNV earnings. Alex, let me look at your list and then I'll just go through my big watch list. Oh, I had a bib alarm go off. All right, we are long this from Thursday. I think we only have a third left. Let me see where our stop is. 147.66. So yeah, we still have open profit. And it's flat. It's opening flat right now, which is a relative strength. All right, Alex emailed me this. All right, Seb. Well, that reacted Friday. Nothing to do now. And I don't see any. Wow, that's $2,900. Seb, whatever the heck that is. This is gapping down a little, but No pattern, ADM. Opening flat, foot spread. There's no directional pattern there in Bravo Golf. Same soybeans. It looks flat to me. Moo. Nothing. Veggie. Nothing. I don't see anything there, but I always like looking. All right, DHR. Low alarm. We had a put spread in this that we took our money, and this is an old alarm. All right, good. So we're out of this. So that's a false alarm. All right, just long watch list now. Let's see what we got. Well, market open. Well, let's see. DBA alarm. Ah, okay, Alex. This was in the advisory letter, DBA. Let's see this. Remember I talked about the word well, this is not a second go around because the pattern didn't fail, but that was a Climo. And I call Thursday kind of a small little retest. I mean, a true retest would come down and give you a W bottom. But yeah, the up alarm just went off on DBA. This WSC middle chart. Say what did what I said was I said two things. I said maybe 30-minute high, but then I also said ideally it closes like this and we buy it tomorrow. That would be a nice climb. If it closes like this, buy over Friday's high. All right, well, and got no alarms going off. Right there, one just went off. PSA. All right, this is relative strength. I gave this one as a shorting naked puts, the 290 puts for $1.15. Let's see what that looks like now. 290s, 5 cents by 390. What a freaking jerk. All right, AES alarm. This was yours, Alex. AES. Alarm just went off. That could be a 5-minute high. I think you're already in it, but for a new trade, bottoming pattern, 5-minute high. All right, so I got to go through all my pendings because I guarantee you I'm going to be canceling a lot of them. All right, so Tish, see, look, remember I said tier one gap? Wait, that's not right. But Tish? Okay, yeah, that is it. Okay, remember I thought it was opening at 85? It's not. So it's not a tier one gap anymore. If it opened up at 85, we talked about MDT. Yep, that's PDT. MDT. All right, so this relative strength is triggering. It's, Medtronic, so it's, healthcare. Staples, we're playing the risk off game here. CTM low alarm. CTM low alarm. Okay, that's stopping out. Jen, yeah, yeah, over the high. JBI. My alarm didn't go off, but yes, that was in the weekend letter. Why didn't my alarm go off? Over 8:30. Ah, my alarm went off pre-market is why. So yeah, this is a go. Yeah, JBI, we're in at 831. That's fine. All right, but market's still weak here, so very selective on new trades. Actually, let's do over 5 minute high, and because with the market falling, give it a tad extra convincing here. Set the alarm. Uh, oh, it just triggered. Okay, so they triggered. So now it's triggered at 8:34. I'll post it. So we've had two trigger longs in that PSA, but it's spray. And Jen, all right, Jen just triggered. So you see, it's exactly what I said pre-market. I had zero alarms going off, but if they did, I mean, look at it. What's wrong with this pattern? It's a big old inverse head and shoulder. A DHI alarm. Jen 2029. Visco low alarm. So this is a Climo. This is a Climo which has zero turn. So let's cancel this. And obviously I got to go through all pendings and see which ones to cancel. Now I think I have that on the other one. TS. Yeah, it's fine. Um, I personally would go a tad lower, like maybe under 37. Let it get under this pre-market support over there. But yeah, looks good. SLLV alarm. Um, let's having second doubts on this one just because of these overlapping bars here. Let's hold off on this OLB. Um, I'll keep it on the list, but let's just hold off on that one. Oh, Visco. Visco was on the advisory letter because it was 2 weeks expiration. That's why. This we can cancel. That would have been a nice pattern, but see, now I cancel it. That's what we do. But what if hypothetically this opened flat and then took out the high? then I'd say it's totally good to go. Go diamonds, yeah. So yeah, our list is going to get damaged. These are on credit spreads, so D, DHI is a put spread, and this triggered at 129, 125. Oh, this got spready. That's right at 65 if you got filled. Um, Bib up alarm, nice.